All right. Hello, everyone. Today is November 15th, and that's the official community meeting for Velero. Please follow the code of conduct. My name is Erlin Vasiliev, and I'm the community manager. With that said, I've pasted the link to the HackMD, so you can add yourself if you feel like it into the HackMD page for our meeting, and add your topics as well. I can see a few folks already done that. Thank you very much. So with that, I think we can kick off with Scott. He added some status updates. Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So the ongoing review of the async item action design that we're again hoping to get in early in the 1.11 development timeframe. There was some feedback last week around the progress reporting. Basically, the original design just had a couple of fields, for items completed and items total, which the intent in the context of a volume upload was, total number of bytes and uploaded number of bytes. But discussion with Daniel and others, we kind of realized that that wasn't flexible enough to handle kind of the anticipated set of use cases. And so one suggestion given was, hey, let's just make it a string field, put YAML in it. And I kind of thought about that and kind of came up with another idea. My concern with the YAML approach was you're essentially adding another part of the API that's going to be kind of undocumented because the plugin and the Velero server are going to have to agree on the YAML format. And if we're going to be doing that, we might as well just add the fields because we're already in the context of a struct with several fields that are part of that API definition. So I modified it to be a little more flexible. We still have fields total and completed, but there's now no assumption that it means bytes. There's a separate units field, so that way all of these storage plugins can identify their units as bytes. So Velero can aggregate those values based on unit. But if you have some other plugin, where maybe you're tracking the number of images copied, or maybe you're tracking some other metric, you can use a different unit. And then I've also added a string field for just a freeform description, because you may be writing a plugin that does, that's interfacing with some server that doesn't give you a % completion. It might just give you a phase. Oh, we're in the, pending phase, the uploading phase, the validation phase, whatever. This provides the plugin a way to give a description of where the progress is, even if it can't be quantified or summed up by Velero. So that's the change I made in response to feedback and discussion. Still awaiting review of that at this point. I'm hopeful that we're near the end of this cycle and are ready to approve it. Once we can get this approved and merged, I then have some other PRs open. I didn't link them this time, but you can look at last week's to see. And basically, there's the actual detailed API design changes that kind of flow out of this PR. One thing, those are now out of date because this change I made to progress reporting, I have not yet bubbled that down into the detailed designs. I want to wait until it's approved at this point because I'm not certain that's the final change. So once we approve this design, I will update those more detailed API design documents, plugin API design documents to reflect that change. So once this is merged and those changes are made, then those are ready to review. Now that we've cut the release branch for 1.10, once all these design PRs are approved, we're basically ready to start implementing and merging on main because that's no longer, going to 1.10. So it'll be ready for 1.11 development. And that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you. Anyone questions on this one? No. Okay. I have a few topics for today. Again, KubeCon, Europe 23. The close of CFP is this Friday. We discussed with Scott. We're gonna apply again with the one that we did on the open source summit, maybe a bit more extended on the demo side. And today I'm gonna have a discussion with Dylan from Red Hat to apply with the panel discussion about backup. So if someone wants to join us on that, feel free, just drop a line on Slack and we can discuss that thing. Last time we applied and we were Red Hat, VMware, Dell, Kasten. So Dave was from Kasten and who else? I forgot. But yeah, for some reason we were not selected. But yeah, we'll try again. Next thing, FOSDEM is the European Open Source Conference. Opened the CFPs and the end date is, I'm gonna add that, is December 15th. So if someone is from Europe and wants to join, I'm gonna apply there for sure. And next thing, it's last time I think we discussed some swag and if we can send something. I think I can arrange that till the end of the year. But I just wanted to get some feedback. What do you want? Pretty much like t-shirts is the easiest thing to do, but it's maybe the most boring one. So I was thinking something like these kind of trick hats or baseball hats or some kind of hoodies for the cold days. What do you think? I cannot promise anything right now, but I'm just getting ideas from. I hope I can get some ideas from you. What do you want? Or what you want to wear or show off? Pins? Okay. Like this one? Give me a sec. Oh, give me a sec. Like this one for back or something? I'm not sure who added this one.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah. Okay. I'll try. I'll see what we can do with this one. The others are super quiet, so okay. The next thing was the release for 110 and 111, and in general the release cycle. I think we have Pradeep. Maybe that's a bit socks. Okay, Tiger. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, cold feet. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Once I have something, I'll check what we can do in terms of budget and practically sending it around the world. Okay. Good ideas. Thank you, Tiger. Pradeep, are you with us? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think go ahead with this one. I've added it without actually knowing you that you'll be on the call. So super nice to see you. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, so kind of what I'm thinking about, like 1.10 is around December, early December, or maybe end of November. So we don't know exact date. Based on the RC and FC, it would come. Typically, in my mind, we should be doing at least 3 releases in a year, or precisely 3 releases in a year, so that we are kind of evenly balanced, and we can do multiple patches on those releases. So when I say 3 releases, means these minor ones, the 3 releases, and then patches on that can be as many as depending upon what issues we found. So based on that, I'm thinking if we do release sometime in early December, we can plan next release typically around April, and we can go always plus minus 1 month depending upon content and the scope. But we should have that kind of regular cadence, not too frequent and not too kind of too far releases. So that's the way my planning. What I was doing over the last couple of days, so we have a kind of a on the GitHub issues, we created a label called 1.11 candidate, and there was some of those candidates were already tagged by the our Red Hat team. Also, some of the candidates were tagged by our Velero community engineers. So I also started kind of going through the all opened issue in the last 6 months, like the issues which is open the last 6 months, precisely from 1st of March till now, and then felt wherever we can do a kind of this 1.11 as a candidate. So feel free to kind of go and see candidate and then put your comments if you want. to work on it, or if you see we should do or not do that. So thumb rule, which I'm thinking about, the things which is more related to a kind of a the bug for the quality purpose, that can be one issue we should look. The issue which gives more flexibility in terms of backing up resources, backing up volumes, that gets in. Anything with respect to Restic, I'm not too keen. However, if the issue seems to be generic, like it may not be only Restic specific, it may be with the copy also, then I'm kind of putting them as also candidate so that we handle the more of a quality issue at generic level. So these are the kind of ideas in my mind. There are some big ticket items. I didn't find those kind of GitHub issues for them. For example, for data mover, there was not enough GitHub issues which I could tag it. So we should work on data mover, at least design part, freeze it as soon as possible and work on that. We should look at the Windows cluster support, NFS support. I'm hearing those from some of those customers who are doing a kind of multi-cloud journey with respect to containers. So they have a kind of multi-cloud, multi-platform. So they're looking for more flexibility on the storage location, flexibility on the kind of cluster type like Windows and all. So we should look at those also on priority if possible. Everything can't happen in 1.11, but these are my items. If needed, I can create more formal list of items, which in my wish list. But what I want to create a GitHub issues and then see how everybody likes. And then if we all feel and then sign up, then we can make progress on those. So feel free to go and look at the candidate and then feel free to kind of put your comments and then see, or if you like to work on any of them. And I would like to thank Scott. There was many issues where Scott has made like comments, which helps to understand what is an issue, suggestions, and also that gave me some insights to put those candidates. So thank you.
And I should note too, the item action progress thing I was talking about, the design. We have several issues in the one that we tagged with 111 that were the implementation of the bits as part of this design, and these are all prerequisites to data mover.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that that's kind of for 111. For me, that stuff is really the highest priority. And then maybe get the data mover design, done by 111, but certainly get this implementation, because also on the Red Hat side, we're intending to make use of that item action progress work in our next OADP release as well. So we definitely want those in 111.
Yeah.
And my hope is to start working on those as soon as these designs are approved.
Yeah. So I'm good with that. So kind of, because as soon as design is approved and then you are passionate about do that work, and anyway it's foundational work for data mover. So feel free to kind of, I don't know the timing, how much time it will take. You only have to tell it. So do you think those items, if design is approved, will be done by March, April timeframe, or?
Oh yes, certainly.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get most of it done, well before then, but certainly by March, I think all that stuff we should be able to get done.
Okay. Yeah. So at high ballpark level, we are kind of looking around April. It can be plus minus 1 month. So if we finish early, we have a good quality. Another thing I want kind of more focus on CVs and also being this community project. Sometimes we don't do that much, but recently there was some scan happen through us API tools and all. We found a lot of CVs, and then we found we need to update some Golang version and other things. And also we need to kind of make sure every release we do that. We try to kind of at least do scanning and then address some of those things where so that it becomes easy if you use those components in your commercial solutions as well. You don't have to worry about those things. So as much as we can fix in upstream, that will be kind of much better approach.
Aside from I think Wes included a link to the kind of the stuff we've been thinking about already for 111. Do we have plans to formalize a release cadence? I know that like we're shooting for about 3 releases a year. Is there some should we maybe have a formal something we actually submit to the repo and vote on from like a community perspective for a regular cadence? Yeah,
so what I'm thinking, this 4 months is a kind of very ballpark, but at least 3 releases in a year, plus minus 1 month. Also, whenever we do kind of a release planning, like right now we're doing 1.11, so we should put a content in a one discussion, let people vote it, or we create a label and kind of some kind of way where we can tag it and then start preparing that content a little bit early. As soon as 1.11 content is frozen, we can kind of start with 1.12 contents. And also, so we have to kind of little bit more things on lineup for future things much in advance. That I'm supportive. I'm not sure like if we can pin down like let's release in month of March and month of this and month of this. We have to be a bit flexible depending upon sometime if a one item is very important and it's kind of needing one other month, we can be flexible. So 4 months is a ballpark where sometime we can do 3 months, sometime we can do 5 months. But yeah, I'm good if we say 3 releases in a year and then gets vote and everybody's aligned. That's also a good an idea. But that's why we can kind of have more consensus.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you bringing this up and spearheading this. One thing I think what you're getting at is maybe what we need to do is more formalize, and this is something that I think, I mean, this conversation has been going on for months, maybe, but back with Eleanor, we started this conversation as well. Finding a way to formalize the release planning process. It's kind of been ad hoc in GitHub in the past, and I'm wondering if we could take an opportunity to maybe, you know, just from an organizational perspective, we've got, you know, multi-month planning on our end, that maybe if we could find a way to share that knowledge with you guys easier, it may make some sense to just formalize exactly what the planning process looks like. And then obviously we don't need to set the actual cadence directly a year in advance or anything like that, but we have a process in place for, okay, once the requirements are set, we plan to ship about this time after the planning's done, right? Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, we can kind of go through that.
I also wonder if we're formalizing the process, is this something that we would want to actually formalize in the context of the governance doc, since this is something that involves the, you know, all the maintainers and kind of governance is sort of the plan for how the project is run. So I think release planning might be something that we would want in that document.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would just bring clarity, I think, to the things you're speaking to, Pradeep, if we kind of illustrate that out in governance, in writing.
Yeah, we can discuss that. So let's kind of, Orlin is here. If needed, we can start a thread and come to some kind of conclusion. And then if we are all aligned to that, we can put into the governance doc. I would still kind of keep it like it's a bit flexible, but not kind of completely out, like plus minus 1 month or like 3 releases in a year is not about every 4 months. It's all about kind of X number of releases per year. And then and this is the process of kind of even formalizing the content for release and all.
I think, Pradeep, I think what we need is more not like a strict dates or periods, but more like the process, how we release, like how we collect the ideas, how we prioritize them.
I think both. I mean, I think that's the main part. I think we should also mention that 4-month goal or 3-year goal, just because, and again, another reason why I think I want to make sure that once we finish this discussion, let's get this written up and put into the governance doc, is that one of the things that, you know, I've seen over the course of the last couple of years with a lot of, you know, changes and, you know, developers on the team and management and all that, is that, you know, some of this knowledge sometimes when it's not written down kind of gets lost. And well, how did we do this last year? Well, I don't know, because the people who did it aren't here anymore. You know, if it's in the document, then now we know how we do it because it's here. And even if I leave and you leave, you know, whoever replaces us, it's in the document.
Yeah, and also it to make the project governance so much predictable for newcomers if they want to join. They can just read that, not to like ask around for someone to guide them how we're gonna release and when or whatever. Yeah, I'm definitely in favor. We should put that really in written somewhere in the repo. So as Dylan said, Dylan, you mentioned something that you can like reuse some good practice from Red Hat, or I got it wrong?
No, I think I was saying that we've had an informal process, like ad hoc in the past, that I started with Eleanor months ago. I don't know if anyone even is aware of it. I was just using these labels at the time for like 1.9 and 1.10. But you know, that's only because at the time, like really Red Hat and VMware were the only 2 setting requirements. I don't know if there's other people that, like other stakeholders that are interested, but you know, we probably need to create some formal process that if there are other stakeholders and contributors that have requirements, how do they supply them, right? Generally, we've opened a GitHub issue and then requested people to just comment on it. If that's what we want to do, that's fine, but I just think we need to formalize it so that we can agree on a common practice.
Yeah, and then again,
Right.
that's another advantage of having this documented in the governance doc is that so if there's other stakeholders that are interested, you know, other contributors, other people using Velero that want to participate in the process, the governance doc will tell them how they are able to participate.
Right. Do you think we're open to, I realize we're meeting every 2 weeks here, but for these milestones, for these 3 releases, and for the planning for those, that we would have a separate this meeting would be converted into a planning discussion live once those issues are collected and kind of organized, and we'll walk through and to some degree make some decisions in a planning meeting for a release, or that would just all be
Yeah.
done async?
Most of the things we'll do async, but it's still kind of the scoping based on the labels and all tag. I don't want to kind of force like this is the what we want to do as a community, right? So people have to little bit vote, and also that flexibility I want to keep it. But yes, once we have an idea like, okay, these are the top voted issues or top issues which you believe, we should label it much in advance for a release and then do kind of bucket them properly. So I can create anything I need it from my side, and then you can create from your side. And then if that, I don't want to kind of say if I create something and then don't want to force some user to work on that, even they had something more important in their mind and they want to vote for that. So it's more of a process where everybody creates things what they want, and if they sign up to do that, then it's much easier. If nobody sign up to do that, then voting and all, and then based on that we can decide it's more important and all. But we should do a little bit more regularly so that we are much prepared in advance. So it's kind of planning but more asynchronous, and maybe before kind of kicking off we can have one community meeting where we can say these are the item we are all kind of trying to do, like 2 weeks before the kicking off a new release. Then we can say, well, these are the final list of item. That's where I'm trying to put those labels as 1.11 candidate, and then work till from now till the time 1.10 is released, like to add and remove those labels based on the people feedback.
Right. That sounds good. What I'm hearing is a lot of the planning will be done async, and then before we get into the release, we'll have a review of the items we want in. That sounds good to me. Yeah. Thank you.
And Wes, you asked if those things can go to 1.11, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, so all these GitHub issues also had been labeled as 1.11 candidate because this is a page. So if you go to the issues list page, sharing screen only, then you will find there is a label 1.11. If you select .111 candidate,
yeah.
So all of them which was on that page is also on this page, but there are more than that. So which I've kind of, and I'm kind of asking even some of the committee member from our side, member side, to also see if they can also sign up. So some of them, if we can sign up for most of them, it's good. Otherwise, we'll move from 1.1 to 1.12. But kind of looking at the description and all, these were my ideas. Like somewhere these may be kind of important. I may not be very accurate, but I looked at a lot of people comments. Scott, some places, Daniel has commented, okay, there's an issue needs enhancement, and there's an issue which you don't know, but we should fix it. So based on that, I've done some triaging at my end.
Cool. And time wise for 1.10 and 1.11.
Yeah, 1.10 is around December. Will get released sometime in end of November or early December. That's what I'm hearing, based on the current kind of the rate, current kind of speed. We are working on that. And 1.11 will be sometime April plus minus 1 month. We can say, like, it's just put tentatively April, but we can release in March or May, depending upon if we get done early or if we kind of think so.
Yeah,
It's
just
worth noting that the RC.1 for 110 was released last week. So,
Yeah.
you know, at this point, it's really just a question of continuing to test that and bugs found and how long it takes to fix those bugs.
Yeah, it's all depends on that. That's what I was hearing also from Daniel. So he mentioned like, yeah, tentatively we planned FC 23rd November, but that seems a little bit challenging because there are some issues they have found also. So he said, yeah, it can be end of November or early December. That's what he was mentioning to me. But feel free, if we kind of ready before, we can always release.
okay. And for the formalizing of the process, I'm gonna take that. And I'm gonna write up something, put it on GitHub, and we can all discuss it there.
Yeah.
And make it that we fit our process and our how we see everything. All right. I can see some new names, not faces because it's only me with camera, but I can see some new names on the list. Anyone wants to introduce themselves?
Uh-oh, being put on the spot.
Mm. I'm not gonna do that like in school. Yeah, you and you. No, no.
They should. No, you're right. They should introduce themselves. I'm just trying to break the ice a little bit.
Hey there. Hi.
Hi.
This is Bharat. So I work for this organization called Ozone. I've been using Velero extensively for the past 1 year. So my recent involvement into this community is to get deeper into where the the tool itself is heading towards, and if at all if I could contribute down in the future, would like to do that. So yeah,
Nice. Welcome to the community.
thank you.
As you see, we need help. So if you feel like it contributing, it would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Can you reach out to me? It's a personal ask, work related though. Can you reach out to me in Slack, not Slack, to if we can chat how you use Velero, and we can make something like and if you feel like sharing that with the public that you use Velero internally.
Mhm. Sure,
be-
we'll do that. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
bring in.
will be great. Thanks.
Cool.
All right. Anyone else wants to discuss some topics like some PRs or some issues? We can convert that super easily right now to an office hours. If someone wants is having some topics. I'm sorry, my language today is not the best. No. Okay.
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. One thing. Is that thing that we set it up on Mondays to have like a half an hour to review PRs? Is that actually working for everyone? Is that like make sense still, or we should change it?
I know people get very busy. And I don't know if we did we add a calendar kind of invite like we have for this meeting, or
I think it's just a
even,
Slack ping right now.
is it a ping? Okay, because
It's just a reminder for all maintainers in the I
just
think Velero dev. So
can we ping, is it possible just to ping everyone in the channel? Hey, we have a meeting or office hours coming up instead of just maintainers?
that's another thing. That's another issue that we've opened, if you can recall, to restart the office hours.
Yeah,
What was it issue or discussion? I
I know we talked about it. I don't know if there's
no, I'm talking about, we discussed that is going to be great if we can do like a async PR triaging like every Monday. So I set it up a reminder on Slack to remind you practically to read all the PRs, and then if you yeah, just to dedicate some time to do that. And the other thing that we discussed was the office hours. Yeah, this one. That thing was to restart them asynchronously on Slack in specific time periods, so all the maintainers and contributors can like be online and just watch the channels for some questions. So if you can,
So, I mean, that I see that reminder. It's just to the maintainers. Is it possible just to ping everyone and remind everyone on the
I'm
channel?
not sure if we can do that in the Kubernetes Slack.
Okay.
No. Can I do channel? Channel? No. Yeah, they disabled that. Otherwise, it will be super noisy, and everybody will go like, "Oh, channel," or wherever. But I'm gonna get in touch with the Kubernetes Slack admins if we can, because right now the reminder is towards maintainers, and maybe we can extend that group a bit and with everyone who's practically maintainer and contributor. So, but there's no other way to address the channel right now. And for the office hours, if you can please take a look at the discussion that we have, and we can start doing this, will be great. Okay. Anyone else? Any topics? If not, can I use the time to discuss the? I mean, everyone's welcome, but I just want to use the time to discuss with Dylan, because the panel discussion for the KubeCon Europe. Is Dylan still with us? No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll drop.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, Dylan left. Everyone. Okay. The idea was to get a group of people on stage and discuss different approaches towards backup and how we see the future of backup, and especially in the cloud native stuff. So if someone of you wants to be on that stage and be part of that discussion, you're super welcome to join. We have to figure out just, yeah, we are limited by 6, I think. Scott, it was 6 last time, right? Can you recall that? Or
I don't remember what the max was.
yeah, whatever, 5 or 6. So yeah, if someone wants to be on that stage and join the discussion, will be super helpful. So please drop a line. We can figure out this until Friday. We have everything's like all the text and everything's there, so we just have to add the names. Okay, with that was everything that I had for today. Thank you very much for everyone for joining today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye.